everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you from Arsenal's training ground here at London Colney. In a few minutes time we'll be up there speaking to Mikel Arteta for his pre-match press conference ahead of tomorrow's game against Southampton. This is the rest of the training ground, the indoor sports centre in there that the players use on a rainy day. No such problem today. Look at that glorious weather here in Hertfordshire. The main complex is behind me over in that direction, and then the training pitch is all at the far side here. Really nice training centre here, built of course by Arsene Wenger and designed pretty much every single bit of this wonderful complex. So anyway, I thought I'd pop on here, show you a little bit about what it's like here at London Colney. We'll be heading inside now to get ready for Mikel's press conference, show you a little bit of show you a little bit of what it's like in the building there, and then give you some of the headlines after the press conference. Lots to discuss today after a bad week or so for Arsenal. Back-to-back defeats, trying to avoid 3 successive Premier League defeats at Southampton on Saturday. Wait to see what the team news is. A few rumours that Lacazette's not been training in the last couple of days. We'll see what Mikel Arteta has to say about that and any of the other big Arsenal news. So Mikel Arteta's press conference coming up here at London Colney. As you can see, lots of pictures here on the wall. Men's and women's team upstairs here at London Colney. And then the press conference room is right here.
You just filmed the press room. Got Rangers last night? Yes.
Hello everyone, so Mikel Arteta's press conference is over here at London Colney. A few interesting notes to bring you from that. We'll start with team news. I mean, bad news on the sort of tail of Kieran Tierney being ruled out for the season. It looks like, as I think we all probably pretty much expected, Thomas Partey will also miss the remainder of the season. Obviously, we got the update from Arsenal on Partey last week, and they didn't confirm that he would miss the end of the season. People that I spoke to who are close to Thomas Partey were hopeful that he would get some sort of game time maybe in the final couple of weeks, but Mikel Arteta today confirming pretty much that it's going to be next season when we see Thomas Partey again. He said there's been further assessments done and it doesn't look good. He said we'll have to wait and see, but Arsenal are not optimistic that Thomas Partey will play again this season. So they're going to have to go with what they've got in midfield at the moment, and definitely their best midfielder will not play a part between now and the end of the season. I mean, it's a massive blow, no doubt about it. Thomas Partey was playing really, really well in 2022. Arsenal needed him with these big games coming up against United, Tottenham, Chelsea, West Ham. You need Thomas Partey in the heart of midfield. So it's a massive blow, no doubt about it, for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta will hope that he can find a way of continuing to pick up results without Thomas Partey, but while the left back situation is going on, and if he's going to continue with Xhaka playing at left back, you have to say that midfield area is looking like a big problem for Arsenal between now and the end of the season. So that's what Mikel had to say about Thomas Partey. He also spoke about Alexandre Lacazette, who has been missing the last couple of days in training. All you eagle-eyed guys out there looking at the pictures from training, looking at the videos, have noticed that Lacazette hasn't been there, and he has indeed been missing. Mikel Arteta said it was private reasons, which basically I think that people have been getting a little bit excited by that, thinking, oh, is it disciplinary, something like that, but it's not at all. It's, that's just kind of Mikel saying, look, it's private. I don't want to talk to you about team news. It was nothing more than that. I think it was a little bit lost in translation, that comment. But he has been missing. Mikel saying that he hopes that he is going to be available. From what I understand, Lacazette has been ill the last couple of days. It hasn't been a positive, or we don't think there's been a positive COVID test from him yet. Well, obviously, I'm sure he'll be continued to be tested if he is feeling ill, just in case it does eventually show up as positive. I don't think it's been the case yet, and like I said, Mikel is optimistic that he might play a part this weekend. And the fact that he's optimistic suggests that there definitely hasn't been a positive COVID test. So we'll have to wait and see whether Lacazette is involved tomorrow at St Mary's. But my understanding is that he's just been feeling a bit under the weather, so he's stayed away from the training ground. A lot of you will probably look at that and think, that could be a bit of a bonus. We won't have Lacazette on Saturday, such as the way he's been playing at the moment. There's obviously been a lot of talk about his selection, continued selection leading the line when he hasn't scored in open play yet so far this year. But, you know, I think on the whole, Arsenal would certainly like to see him in the squad, whether that be on the bench or starting is up for debate. I've said my piece on Lacazette. I don't think he should be starting at the moment, but you know, I still want to see him on the bench at the moment, at the very least. So we'll have to wait and see on that. So that's the latest team news. Not good news on Thomas Partey, not good news on Alexandre Lacazette. In terms of Takehiro Tomiyasu, obviously he is not going to be available yet. Arsenal still hoping that he will be back, sort of available to come back to full training after this game against Southampton. Whether that's the case, again, we'll have to wait and see, but that's the timeline that they are putting on it. So no Tomiyasu, no Thomas Partey, no Kieran Tierney. We know Alexandre Lacazette, a doubt. That will be a late sort of check on him. And that's all we know really in terms of team news at the moment. Whether there's anything else been going on that we don't know about, we'll have to wait and see. Sometimes we do get these little bit of surprises that Mikel doesn't speak about, so we'll have to wait and see. I will be at St Mary's tomorrow, so you know, as soon as I get any news on that, I will bring it to you. A couple of other interesting points Mikel spoke about. I asked him about Nuno Tavares, and I was kind of a bit intrigued about, you know, the fact that I spoke to Mikel about Nuno Tavares after the Liverpool game earlier in the season, and the fact that he sort of, is this a time, because he struggled at Liverpool. Mikel said, look, we have to trust players after a bad performance. So I said to him today, does that show now that you don't trust him because you didn't play him after Selhurst Park? And he was adamant that he does still trust him. And he spoke a lot about Nuno and seemed to suggest that maybe he felt there was a bit of a belief issue at the moment. Or, I mean, I did ask him that, he said no, but he said there was, if he sees there's some doubt in a player, then he's not going to put him on the pitch. So you kind of got the impression from that Mikel believed maybe Nuno had a few doubts in his head after the last couple of games, and that's why he wasn't involved. He wasn't in the starting at 11 last weekend, and Mikel absolutely doubled down on the whole Granit Xhaka at left back thing as well. He said it was absolutely adamant that wasn't the reason Arsenal didn't perform against Brighton last weekend. It was nothing to do with Granit being at left back, and he pointed out, and I haven't even checked this out yet because I haven't been able to, I've only literally just walked out the room, but he said that to look at the stats when Arsenal start with Granit Xhaka at left back, he said it doesn't get much better, which is interesting. I'm sure a lot of people have been watching that press conference have immediately started delving into the sort of stat packs to have a look to see what Arsenal's sort of win rate is with Granit Xhaka at left back. It was an interesting comment, I thought, from Mikel Arteta, and like I said, I'm pretty sure I'll soon see on social media people, while I'm driving home, people will already be looking to see exactly what the stats are with Arsenal at left back. But yeah, he's adamant that was not the reason Arsenal didn't perform and not the reason why Arsenal lost against Brighton last weekend. I've got a sneaky feeling we might well see it again at Southampton tomorrow. I will do my predicted 11 at the end of this video. A little bit of other news in terms of Arsenal's pre-season plans. Good news for you if you're watching this from the United States and you're an Arsenal supporter. Arsenal are heading over to the United States. I think they're going to confirm their pre-season plans some point next week, but from what I understand, they're going to have 2 games down in Orlando in the Florida Cup. Arsenal were obviously supposed to be in the Florida Cup last summer. That got cancelled because of COVID and the pandemic, but they will be heading back and taking part in the Florida Cup this summer. They'll have 2 games down there. One against Chelsea, one against Orlando City. Like I said, this is all my understanding. It will be confirmed soon, so apologies if I get it wrong, but from what I understand, this is correct. So it'll be 2 games in Orlando against Chelsea and Orlando City. Then Arsenal have another game in the States up on the East Coast. I don't know where this will be yet, but it's going to be up east somewhere, potentially around New York, you would think, maybe Philly, I don't know, but they're going to be playing Everton in that game. Then they will be coming back. They're going to have a game in Europe as well. We'll wait and see who that is going to be against. They're going to have 1 game in the Emirates Cup. It's not going to be a weekend thing, the Emirates Cup this year, so it'll be one day, probably on the Saturday, and then it'll be a behind closed door friendly here somewhere, and there might be scope for 1 other game, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But that's the latest when it comes to Arsenal's pre-season plans. Like I said, there will be confirmation coming from that at some point next week, I believe, from the club. Okay, finally, before I go, it's getting pretty noisy here, the Arsenal ground staff here, getting up and running to keep the pristine pitches here at London Colney correct. Let's just quickly go with my predicted 11. Now, this isn't what I want to see, as always. This isn't the 11 that I want to see or any information I've got. It's just what I'm predicting Mikel Arteta will go for against Southampton tomorrow at St Mary's. I'm going to say it's going to be Ramsdale in goal. I'm going to go Cedric right back, Ben White and Gabriel at centre back. I'm going to say that he's going to go with Granit Xhaka at left back once again. A midfield of Lokonga, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Saka, Nketiah and Martinelli. That is my predicted 11 for the game against Southampton. One more time, that's Ramsdale, Cedric, White, Gabriel, Xhaka, Lokonga, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Saka, Nketiah, Martinelli. That is my Arsenal predicted 11 to take on Southampton at St Mary's. Right, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Like I said, I will be at the Southampton game tomorrow, so keep your eyes peeled for all the usual pre-match and post-match stuff from me. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Look at this glorious weather here at Arsenal's training ground. Go out, enjoy yourself tonight, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to see Arsenal get back to winning ways at Southampton tomorrow. Thank you for watching.